While many Americans have been glued to the ongoing impeachment hearings, there was another story that came out last week which was received far too little attention. It has to do with this guy.
Am I the only one who is sick and tired of being told to pick up my trash? And we have plenty of janitors who are paid to do it for us.
That's a high schooler who grew up to become White House senior policy advisor, Steve Miller. And those few short seconds tell you a lot about the man he's become today, namely the engineer of Trump's ruthless family separation policy, those punitive travel bans, and proposals for sweeping changes to our legal immigration system like this one, which many have rightly questioned.
We're establishing a new entry system that's points-based. It will look at, does the applicant speak English? Can they support themselves and their families financially? Do they have a skill that will add to the U.S. economy? And I just want to say...
It sounds like you're trying to engineer the racial and ethnic flow of people into this country.
Jim, that is one of the most outrageous, insulting, ignorant, and foolish things you've ever said.
Insulting, maybe. Ignorant or foolish, not so much. Because as of last week, we have concrete proof that Jim Acosta was right, thanks to the Southern Poverty Law Center. They managed to get more than 900 emails Miller sent to editors at Breitbart in 2015 and 16, and found more than 80% of them were on issues of race and immigration. More specifically, pitching racist stories and conspiracy theories, many of which came directly from white nationalist websites. For example, in September of 2015, Miller recommended that Breitbart write about The Camp of the Saints, a French novel about the myth of white genocide. So Breitbart did. And the story's writer, Julia Hahn, she became a Trump aide about a year later. Then after Dylan Roof murdered 9 black churchgoers in South Carolina, Miller sent Breitbart angry emails about how retailers were pulling the Confederate flag, sending along statistics about how many men died in the Civil War, and asking, quote, when will the left be made to apologize for the blood on their hands supporting every commie regime since Stalin? And those are only 2 examples of what the Southern Poverty Law Center uncovered. In their overall analysis, they said they were, quote, unable to find any examples of Miller writing sympathetically or even in neutral tones about any person who is non-white or foreign-born. The White House, of course, is dismissing all of this, calling the Southern Poverty Law Center an utterly discredited, long-debunked, far-left smear organization. But these emails certainly explain the policies Miller's pushed. Policies that have separated nearly 70,000 children from their families so far in 2019. That's 42% more than the year before. The Associated Press reported on one of those kids, a 3-year-old girl who, in addition to suffering from the trauma of being torn away from her father, was sexually abused here in foster care. And since she and her father have been deported back to Honduras, her father says his daughter refuses to hug him or even hold his hand. And what happened to this family and so many others is done in our name. Several Democratic lawmakers and presidential candidates have called for Miller to resign. He should, but it's not clear if the racism will depart with him.